So Harvin says here, do you still have thoughts? What is your mind activity like? So yes, I still have thoughts. There was a period where my mind became very quiet for a few months, very, very few thoughts, just very, very still. And I thought, well, I didn't think, I felt that it would be quiet forever. And then the mind started up again. But it wasn't like suffering inducing thoughts. But the mind started up again, and I thought, oh no, did I lose the stillness? What's going on here? So I began to do a lot of investigation. I looked into some of the teachers that I admired. I looked into Ramana, Sri Ramana Maharshi. Somebody asked him the same question, do you have thoughts? And what he responded was, usually, no. So Ramana said himself, usually I don't have thoughts. But the word that really spoke to me was usually. So I said, okay, so even Ramana had thoughts now and then. So the aim of the path isn't to never have thoughts ever again, because Ramana is the real deal, and he usually didn't have thoughts, though sometimes he did. So I said, okay, it's no problem. I can think. It's all good. So today, typically, though not perfectly and not always, I generally am in a state of witnessing consciousness of my mind and my thoughts. They arise and pass away in my awareness. I don't typically cling to them or think that I am them or think that I am the thinker or identify with the mind. It's just a sort of monologue happening that I just kind of observe, and it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. It's almost like if, you're at a bus stop and the person next to you is talking on the phone, you don't make anything of it. You just go on with your day. It's kind of like that. The thoughts aren't necessarily emotionally charged in the way that they used to be. So they're just, like I said, it's like somebody on the phone next to me. It's not that emotional. Typically, there are times in certain events where my mind will become, have emotionally charged thoughts. I may get caught up in them. I may take myself to be the mind and get caught up in ego. That can still happen. But for the most part, the thoughts are a useful tool. The thinking is a useful tool to organize my ideas, to organize and to problem solve effectively and efficiently and with logical, rational thinking processes. So that's sort of how it works. I don't normally get caught up in mental movies, replaying the past, anxiety about the future. Not normally. But every now and then it does still happen. That's my relationship with thoughts. In meditation, I sit, thoughts come and go. My meditation isn't about quieting my mind, not at all. My meditation is about saturating my body, saturating my nervous system with Shakti. And in time, I do come to some deep states where the thoughts do stop, but that's not my goal. My goal in meditation in particular, my goal is just to sit and allow the body to relax on its own and allow the mind to relax on its own. And if that happens, great. If it doesn't, that's great too. So that's a little bit about my relationship with thoughts. They're not a mistake. They're not a problem. They're very useful. It's just that over time, we were fooled into thinking that our thoughts were more powerful than they actually were, that our mind was more powerful than it actually was. We thought, in my mind, I can solve problems that happened in the past, so let me try and think about them. Right? That's what we thought. Somebody told us this, or we believed it or whatever, and so we started worrying about things that happened in the past with regret. Or we thought, in my mind, I can solve non-existent problems that probably won't happen in the future. Let me sit here and start trying to solve them. So the mind isn't that useful. It's good to, organize thoughts, solve a problem that we have in the moment, right? Something goes wrong, you use your mind, you think, find the best solution. So that's typically how I operate, but it's not perfect. I can still get caught up in thinking like anybody else. But what's interesting for me, at least, is I don't beat myself up about that. I just don't care. If I'm fully identified with the ego, that's okay. Because I know all I have to do is just sit down for a couple minutes and I'll return back into a state of awareness. So I don't care anymore. I don't care. Let the thoughts come and go. Let identification come and go. Ego can be here. Ego can disappear. It's all good. It's all welcome here, all welcome. That's why when I invite us to meditate together, I just say allow and observe. Allow and observe. We're not trying to quiet the mind. We're not trying to get rid of thoughts. It's a great question.